Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll continue. We have a few verses left from chapter 19, which is the last chapter of first canto. And then we can start the second canto today. So this is Maharaj Parikshit speaking. He's expressing his gratitude for the sages, for Shukadev Goswami, and for Krishna himself, that they are there helping him at the last moments of his life. Apime Bhagavan Prita Krishna Pando Sutta Priya Paitri Shvasya Prityartam Tad Gotrasyatta Bandhava. Nimai?
Lord Krishna, the personality of God, is very dear to the sons of King Pandu, has accepted me as one of those relatives just to please his great cousins and brothers.
Thank you. So, Parikshit Maharaj is saying this Pandu Sutta Priya. So he says that he's very dear to the sons of Pandu. So Pandu Sutta is the sons of Pandu. Priya means dear. He's very dear to the sons of Pandu, Krishna. And because I'm connected to these Pandavas, Pandu Suttas, then that's why Krishna mercifully sent Shukadev Goswami to enlighten me. So he's not thinking, because I'm so great, because I perform so much devotional service, that's why Krishna was merciful. But he's thinking, it's not my qualification, but because I'm fortunate enough to be connected to this great family of the Pandavas. Prabhupada says, if I can find it, a pure and exclusive devotee of the Lord serves his family interest more dexterously than others who are attached to illusory family affairs. So that's the best way to look after our family, is to serve Krishna, because then by becoming dear to Krishna, then our family members also become dear to him. Anyata te vyaktagater darshanam na katham rinam nitaram riyamananam samsidasya vaniyasa. Raghunath Bhatta Prabhu?
Otherwise, without being inspired by Lord Krishna, how is it that you have voluntarily appeared here, though you are moving incognito to the common man and are not visible to us who are on the verge of death?
Thank you. So here Parikshit Maharaj is acknowledging Krishna's mercy after appreciating the mercy of the sages, the glory of the Pandavas. So he's speaking to Shukadev Goswami, and he's saying that it must have been that you were inspired by Krishna to just appear just at the right time. So when we do devotional service, then Krishna looks after us, sends us people to guide us just at the right time. He sends his representatives. I don't know if you remember, at the beginning of the first canto, we had Vyasadeva regretting his defects. He's sitting there depressed. And just at the right time, Narada Muni arrives. Prabhupada even says in one of the purports that Narada Muni, who has kindly arrived in this chapter. So, of course. And then also Dhruva Maharaj, when he was very upset by not being able to sit in his father's lap and by the cruel words of his stepmother, then first he had the guidance of his own mother, Suniti, and she guided him not to have negative feelings, then go to the forest, try to find Krishna. And then when he was meditating in the forest, then Narada Muni, another spiritual master, came to guide him further on exactly how to find Krishna, exactly how to worship Krishna, which mantra to chant, how to worship the deities. And Prabhupada says at the end of the purport, I think, the conclusion is that to get the assistance of a bona fide spiritual master means to receive the direct help of the Lord Himself. So sometimes we also experience that in our own lives. Of course, we have our initiating spiritual master, Diksha Guru, but then through our devotional path, devotional journey, at certain times we also encounter other gurus, mentors, spiritual guides. Just when we need someone to help us in a certain way, then Krishna sends a devotee along to help us. So this we can see as the direct help of the Lord Himself, and He sends these devotees. Okay, so Krishna always sends the right person to guide us at the right time. And now, okay, let's see the next verse. Ata prichami samsiddhim yoginam paramam gurum purushasyeha yat karyam riyamanasya sarvata. Guru Bhakti Mataji.
You are the spiritual master of great saints and devotees. I am therefore begging you to show the way of perfection for all persons, and especially for one who is about to die.
Okay, so I don't know if you remember, it was last week, but Parikshit Maharaj asked a very similar question in text 24. In text 24, he asked the sages, what is the duty of everyone, and especially what is the duty of one who's about to die. Now in text 37 and 38, he asks a very similar question of Shukadev Goswami. So show the way of perfection for all persons, and especially for one who's about to die, and then we'll see in the next verse, he'll make it even more specific. And then Srila Prabhupada's purport to this verse is also very similar to text 24. Prabhupada says that Guru is not a fashion. We don't just take a Guru just because everybody else has one, but because we have very important, vital questions to ask, especially close to the time of death. And then Prabhupada explains that Parikshit Maharaj's question forms the basis of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The question put forward by Maharaj Parikshit is the basic principle of the complete thesis of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So in one sense, all the rest of the Bhagavatam is the answer of Shukadev Goswami to this question. It's a very important question. What is the way of perfection for everybody, and especially for those who are about to die? And in one sense, we are all about to die. Of course, hopefully not in the next 5 minutes, but we are all kind of moving towards that time. One time I heard a very thought-provoking analogy about death coming, is that we are all standing in a long line in a queue, and at the end of the queue, people die. The only thing is we don't know if we have 5 people in front of us or 5,000 people in front of us, but we are all standing in this queue. Of course, this is not to make us depressed and it's not some kind of morbid description, but it's to kind of make us sober. We still have to live our life, but just always be conscious that that line is slowly moving. And then of course for devotees, death means coming closer to Krishna, so it's not necessarily a negative thing. Okay, and then we'll see the second part of this question. Yat shrotavyam ato japyam yat kartavyam nibit prabho smartavyam bhajaniyam va bruhiyad va viparyayam. Manjuali Mataji.
Please let me know what a man should hear, chant, remember, and worship, and also what he should not do. Please explain all this to me.
Thank you. So this is the second part of the question. First part was, what is the way of perfection for everyone, and especially those who are about to die? And this second part is more specific. So not just what's the way of perfection, what one should one hear, chant, remember, and worship, and also what one should not do. So this is in text 24, Maharaj Parikshit just asked, was the unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and specifically of those who are just about to die? And in text 38, was the way of perfection for everyone, especially those who are about to die, what one should hear, chant, remember, and worship, and what one should not do. First time he asked the sages, but the sages were not sure how to answer, because some sages were into the process of karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga. There were all different kinds of processes, and even the goals were different, like liberation, mystic perfections, heavenly planet. So there were lots of different opinions. They weren't sure how to answer him, and then they all looked in the direction where Shukadev Goswami appeared. So now Parikshit Maharaj asks the same question of Shukadev Goswami, and Shukadev Goswami will very confidently answer his questions at the beginning of the first canto, and then he will expand on it rest of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Nunam Bhagavato Brahman Griheshu Grihamedidam Nalakshate Yavasthanam Api Godohanam Kvachit. Nilacha Chandra Prabhu?
All powerful Brahma, it is said that you hardly stay in the house of men long enough to milk the cow.
Okay. So in the beginning, I think maybe one of the first chapters, there's a very similar verse. Sago Dohana Matram Hi, where I think Sutta Goswami describes Shukadev Goswami that he's only staying at the door of a householder enough time to milk a cow. So sometimes it's said it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's said for 20 minutes, but one way or the other, it's not a long time. So, and in that 5 minutes or 20 minutes, then he's giving some little spiritual knowledge, which is, of course, the greatest value to the householder. So now Parikshit Maharaj is appreciating that, usually you only stay for at max 20 minutes in one place, but now you're prepared to stay here for 7 days to teach me. So he's very, very grateful for that. And he's appreciating this rare privilege. We saw how the sages appreciated the association of Parikshit Maharaj. They said, we're going to stay here until, the end of the 7 days, because it's rare to be in the association of such great devotees. And Parikshit Maharaj also appreciates the association of the sages, the association of Shukadev Goswami. He's not taking it for granted. He's feeling very grateful, considering that he's just been unjustly cursed to die. It's a very, very elevated consciousness, so it doesn't have any grudge, resentment. He's not feeling feelings of injustice. He's just grateful for all the spiritually uplifting things that came about due to this unfair, unjust curse. Prabhupada in the purport says that when we ask questions from the spiritual master, it should be to get some transcendental information, not foolishly ask a saint to deliver what's available in the market. So we shouldn't ask him, what stocks and shares should we invest in, or no kind of mundane questions. It should be related to spiritual life. That's the reciprocal relation between saints and householders. And now the last verse of the first canto. Sutta uvacha evam abhasita prishta saragyas lakshnaya gira pratyabhashatak dharmagyo bhagavan badarayani. Triloka Chitali Mataji?
Sri Sutta Goswami said, the king thus spoke and questioned the sage, using sweet language. Then the great and powerful personality, the son of Vyasadeva, who knew the principles of religion, began his reply.
Thank you. And thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the first canto, 19th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. entitled The Appearance of Shukadev Goswami. This is the end of the first canto. So in the second canto, Shukadev Goswami will start his reply.